Good evening, folks, and welcome to yet another episode of DinamoTV. It's episode 4 tonight, and wow, what a blockbuster episode we have got in store for you. My name's Tonchi Prusak, and I'm the host. I'm your host for DinamoTV, and absolutely proud to be that sitting in the host's chair. As I said, it is going to be an absolute jam-packed, awesome show tonight, and we've got a heap of guests coming on a little bit later on. And there are the guests on screen, as you can see. Dinamo Senior Men's Team Captain, Michael GRGIC. As we speak, he's finishing up training and will be making a live cross to the Churchill Reserve club rooms, or maybe even the dressing room, where we'll be speaking to Captain Courageous himself, Michael, ahead of Saturday night's big season opening blockbuster against the Port Melbourne Sharks at JL Murphy Reserve. But prior to that, we'll be speaking to the MiniRoos and Juniors Technical Director, NIKOLA MARKOVSKI. And NIKOLA will be joining us in a little bit over 10 or so, 15 minutes maybe from now. We've also got lots of exclusive footage from last Friday night's Guernsey Presentation Night at the Churchill Reserve club rooms. And also, indeed, we also had a very, very special guest. That's for sure. The special guest was an interstate guest to boot, and he will be. We will have footage of that a little bit later on. But straight after this short commercial break, we've got the news desk. Don't go away, folks. It's coming right up.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, episode 4, and let's get straight into it. On the weekend, the junior boys NPL season got off to a flying start in absolutely stinking hot conditions, and it looks like it may well be repeated this Sunday. But let's turn our attention to what happened last Sunday. There at Churchill Reserve, all the games were brought forward, and we heard that was going to be the case from last week's guest, Mickey Pete, who is also the NPL Under-18s coach. He would have been very happy with his team's performance. Unfortunately, the only Dinamo team to win on the weekend, the Under-18s. But let's start from the Under-14s and work our way up. The Under-14s, they lost 0-4 to Brimbank Stallions. In the Under-15s, a lone Reese Bazanko goal wasn't enough to get the Plavi over the line. A 1-4 loss against the Stallions. The Under-16s, well, they did a little bit better. They scored 2 goals. Dane Reicher and Elijah Camilleri scoring Dinamo's 2 goals in a 4-2 loss at the hands of the Stallions. And as we mentioned just moments earlier, in the Under-18s, it was a 5-2 win, an emphatic 5-2 win to Dinamo. Yanni Apostolikas got 4 goals for Dinamo, and Joshua Angelis scored 1 goal. We've turned our attention now to this week's round 2 of the pre-qualification phase. All the games will be played at the Ballarat Regional Soccer Facility in Ballarat. The under-14s kick off at 10 o'clock, followed by the under-15s at 11:30. The under-16s then are in action at 1:15, and following that, the under-18s will kick off at 3 p.m. Folks, tomorrow we've got the return of the Dinamo Buffet. We mentioned this in last week's show. Get ready to feast as Dinamo's Buffet Night returns for 2024. It kicks off at 6:30, and ticket prices are as follows. Adults, $30. Kids under 16, $20. Kids under 10, $15. It's an opportunity for you to also collect your 2024 membership if you haven't done so. But bookings are essential, so do please contact Anna on 0401 505 100. Now, later that night, Guernsey Bears will be in action at Churchill Reserve, our affiliate club there at the Churchill Reserve. So the Bears, it's a new kickoff time. It's been pushed back to 8 p.m., probably to allow everyone time to digest their meals and then just make their way outside as the Bears take on a tough opponent in State League 3, Western Eagles, the Polonia, or former Polonia, the Polish community-backed side. So it's going to be a tough game for our Bears, but look, they've got nothing to lose, and it will be, I'm sure they will put one hell of a fight. Speaking of Guernsey, the 20th anniversary is fast approaching, the 20th anniversary Gala Ball, that is. That's on the 24th of February, so in approximately 2 weeks' time. Major Minor is the main attraction there, and for tickets, which are priced at $80 for adults and $60 for pensioners and youth, you can ring Marco on 0422 115 649. That's tickets have almost sold out. Not quite, but there's not that many tickets left, that's for sure. The MiniRoos, well, we've got lots of interest in our teams, that's for sure, without a doubt. And we're looking at also the MiniRoos that here we go. I'm looking for that slide. We're looking to finalise our MiniRoos squads for season 2024. Pre-season has kicked off with training sessions on Tuesday and Thursday at Diamond Reserve there in Albanvale. And that's a photo, thanks courtesy of MiniRoos coordinator Stepan Gal, of training that was held the other night on Tuesday. There's spots available, or one spot available in under-9 Kangaroos, 3 spots available in the under-10 Wallabies, 2 spots in the under-11 Wallabies, and the under-14 boys community. They've got 4 spots, plus they're also looking for a coach as well. So if you're able to help there with coaching that team, that would be absolutely fantastic. And the last, but certainly not least, item of our news desk tonight, the women's team, the senior women's team at Dinamo, still looking for players for season 2024. The Dinamo will be competing in State League 2, so we're calling on all players who would like to be part of some history making down here at Churchill Reserve to show your interest and send your expression of interest to Dinamo and be part of the senior women's team. All right, folks. Well, that pretty much wraps up the news desk. When we return, we will be taking an exclusive look at what happened last Friday night at the Churchill Reserve Club Rooms when we had the Guernsey Presentation Night. All right, folks, don't go away.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 2024 St Albans Dinamo Jersey presentation, from the Ep4 all the way through to our senior men's. So, welcome everybody. Some of you may still be eating, but that's okay. I think most of the players that will be presented with their jerseys will have finished eating by now, and hopefully they're all back in the room as well. But before we start, a very big thank you first and foremost to the very hard-working people that have put on tonight's event, and they're still working very hard. So a big round of applause to everybody involved. go in a bit of an order, so we'll start with the 14s, 15s, 16s, 18s, etc. So hopefully we won't take up too much of your time. But again, we'll just hope for a bit of patience and we'll get through everybody and then we can all enjoy the rest of the evening. So we'll start first and foremost with the under 14 NPL. So they're the newest addition to the NPL family this year, the boys from the 14s. And I'll just call up the coach, Sonny Gregorin, if you could come up first and foremost, so we can then start to hand out. And Sonny's a new coach this year. He's taken on the boys who spent last year in the 14s community under the guidance of one young Ivan Osmich and Christopher Digg, who were our coaches last year, and they're all here tonight as well. We've got the unveiling of the senior jerseys and the jerseys for the club now quickly. So we've got two of our players in behind that door here who come out now. And first we're going to bring out MARKOVSKI. So MARKOVSKI can come out, and this will be the senior jersey for 2024. And now we'll bring out Christopher Digg. So Christopher Digg will be wearing our white jersey. Looking sexy as always, Diggy. Okay, so we'll just go through it quickly. We'll get one to stand. Give you stood there for a second. So we've got our sponsors this year. IMD obviously in the front. AHD, the Dawn, Melbourne, 5-star panels. Form Deck on the shorts. I have V&G Concrete Constructions, Future Tech Civil, Evolution Electrical, MC Labour, and Lakeside Motoring Group. So a big thank you to all the sponsors. And so we've got a beautiful jersey this year and a beautiful white jersey. So this is the jersey that the seniors, 23s, and also all the NPLs will be wearing for the season. So yeah, well done guys, thank you to our models. Looking sharp. I'll give you enough time to change before we do the 17. I'll pass it over back to Mr. Scully.
I'll keep it short. Just wanted to say something else quickly on my so the last season we had to build a squad from the ground up, and I'm really happy and pleased with what we achieved last season, what the boys achieved last season, and the testament of that we have now progressed into the senior group. So going into 2024, we sort of built a foundation, I guess, and we're really excited to see where the season takes us with this crop of boys to my right. I just want to thank Carl Collins, Grace, the new boys, our medical team, Steph and Johnny. I think we've built a really good coaching team. There's a lot of beating that goes on, but we're really serious about what we do. So for everyone here, get out and support the seniors in 2023 this season. It should be a fantastic season, and we're really looking forward to getting some wins on the board. Also, before I finish up, I just want to congratulate the NPL boys and wishing all the best to all our boys.
Making it happen, and once again, a big round of applause, not only for his what he's done for football, but what he's doing to be up in the health of our players as well. So I want to say a couple of words before we move on to the seniors.
Jeez, what a speech. A big round of applause for the best MC in the business, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say just a couple of real quick things. The hard part of my journey is that a lot of those good people I work with are no longer here. So whenever I turn up at football fields, they look at me and go, "Andy, you're still alive." I'm like, what's going on? But the greater Croatian community in Australia have been wonderful supporters of my journey from day one. From the time I started commentating at SBS as an untrained, a person with no history, I failed my HSC kids. I was told I wasn't good enough. And the reality, particularly for the young people here, is don't let anyone ever tell you you're not good enough, because you are. If you have that resolve, if you have that self-belief, your dreams will become a reality. Now, I've been blessed to work at SBS for 10 years. Fox Sports when it started. Sky Sports Radio Racing. 7 years in a row, up until last year, I was commentating in the Indian Super League to millions of people around the world. Blessed to meet some of the most amazing football people that you can care to talk about, from interviewing Pele, Maradona, commentating Socceroo games, World Cup qualifiers. So this little kid that was told he wasn't good enough from a young age pushed through the barriers. Going back to the Croatian community, they've treated me like one of their own. My nickname is Paskalivovic. Actually, while we're in the room, hands up if your surname ends in itch. Hands up if you're a Greek background. I should have known, man. What's your name? Yanni. The eyebrow gave it away, brother. Don't worry, mate. My wife bought me a whippersnipper for Christmas. I went in the backyard, she goes, my luck, that's for your back. It's alright. It's alright. Now, there is a saying, once you go Croatian, there's no better sensation. To be true. But I need to check, are there any Italians here? Just in case. Any Italians? What part of Italy? Roma, Swan, whereabouts? Shit. Johnny, whatever this table wants, it's in the house.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials, along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Welcome back to DinamoTV, and that was one of the unveilings for tonight. It's great to have I&D Group back on board again as one of our major sponsor, and certainly having that advert is a welcome addition to DinamoTV. Now it's my turn, my pleasure actually, to introduce to you our guest for tonight. So excited to be having this gentleman on the show tonight, and it is my absolute pleasure to have the MiniRoos technical director for the club, NIKOLA MARKOVSKI, joining us. NIKOLA, good evening and welcome. How are you?
Hi, Tonchi. First, thanks for your invitation to be part of your Dinamo podcast. And I want to say thank you to all people who are watching this show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one little mistake. It's not my show. It's all of our shows. It's DinamoTV is a big family, a big community. And speaking of which, mate, you've got the absolute joy of looking after our youngest ones in the club, the MiniRoos. And look, like last week we had Stjepan Gal on, and he said there's already been about a 20% increase on numbers from last year, and that's probably growing. What's the latest? How are we looking as far as numbers and teams? And like we've got that graphic there of spots that are still available. But it seems to me like a very, very healthy start to the year.
Correct. So far, all most of the teams, we have few spots left for someone who wants to join our program for the upcoming season. And so far, this number is growing year by year. And we speak with Gal, our goal is not stopping in this particular season. We aim to increase the teams even more in upcoming season. We got a small project to 2025 that we want to be even increase the numbers. And so far it's going well. We got a lot of interest in coming also from a lot of youngers. And I think so far we doing well. And pretty much we start this week. And we have already good feedback from the parents that Stepan Gal and Christian Dulic, they done good job with organizing all stuff for the MiniRoos.
Yeah, well, we can see some photos there from a Tuesday night session there at Diamond Reserve. Lots of colour, lots of kids, boys and girls. And as we heard in last week's program, there's been a big spike in the number of girls who are interested in playing at Dinamo. What makes Dinamo such a magical place to play soccer, play football?
First, these couple of years we're working on some unique, like we focus a lot of the young kids, and we got a program in place that all club starting to follow. We come along in one page, which is on the start. It was very hard to put some direction on the club. But in the last couple of months and last year, we put so much effort as a club. So that's dramatically changed. The interest increased because we run a lot of like academy system, and then that's is a lot of effect of this organization, because we at the moment, if you come watch the MiniRoos session, that you can see the whole teams and all coaches on the same page. That's which is we want to see in the future that we go to the right direction. So we have specific program that we want to develop players, be ready to play for Dinamo seniors in future, and also be ready also these kids for the MPL for the following years.
Yeah. Now, before we move on and talk about like some of the coaches and what's happening at the club at the moment, you've got a really interesting story yourself. Tell us a little bit about that as well, as far as your coaching is concerned.
I most of the time, like I play in Eastern Europe professional football for 8 years, and when I moved in Australia, Dinamo was my first club when I start coaching, and it's kind of my club and home. Then this year I'm doing 10 years at the club. I start 2014. Now I spend a lot of time there, and then how my coaching journey moved to the next level. I want to take it serious, and so far the last 2022 I got opportunity to coach in Asia, which is Paktakor is one of the club in Asia. They from Uzbekistan, and they quite successful. We finished first and play in the Champions League, Asian Champions League. And it was quite unique experience that is take my coaching to the next level, which is from player perspective. I always playing is different than coaching. And your coach, you have a lot of pressure on your shoulders, and is different, and kind of is make lot of thoughts in my head that this job will be very hard.
Yep.
Like for example, if you want to coach on that level, and it's not easy. So that's why it was quite a unique experience, because I wish all the coaches at the club and in Victoria who wants to do living from football to get this experience. So a part of that also, I'm in Western United. This is my second year working with the senior academy. Last year and this season we get ready for round one. kind of good environment, professional clubs. Is not much different than when I went before.
Yep.
But we just working with young players and we help them to become part of the A League. So.
Yeah. Tell me, what's the biggest difference between, say, working at Dinamo, working with a club like Dinamo, which is very community backed, and so there's a strong volunteer element, and then working with a fully professional club like Western United, where everyone's professional, everyone's paid. It's some people have got full-time jobs, others part-time jobs. What's the biggest difference apart from obviously the paid personnel? Is there a difference in the way they approach their football? Is there a difference in the attitude, in the sort of the atmosphere, and obviously the resources? Obviously, there's a massive difference between that. But fundamentally, what do you see as the big difference?
For example, working in based community clubs is the hardest part is that you cannot train in kids like professionals, because we are here for focus on development. In the professional environment, which is expectation is higher from the players, demand is high because they already been through some selection, and we deal with people who already we expecting that they're coming with certain level of playing football, and is most of the time these days is performance based. So when you're working in professional clubs, people expecting more of you, and in community based clubs is pretty much you focus on the kids and to help the kids to get better football players. And also the hours spending on the training. For example, in professional clubs, you're working 5 days, nearly 5 days a week. You work a lot of off the pitch, do analyze, do all this off the pitch stuff, which is no one see it, conversation with players, going through tough periods, but which is in community club base. We focus on the kids that we just training 3 nights. Some of them, they do an extra academy session, but the approach is different. It's more about helpful to the kids, not put too much pressure on them because we want them to help. It's a little bit different. I was privileged to working with former A-League players with good experience and good coaches, which is we said that the people who play the high level, they look the football differently, because you went through this process, you went through this all performing under pressure, mindset.
Yeah.
You this experience you can tell to the kids who want to make living from football, which is in community club we have totally different approach. We want to give to the kids experience most of the time. We don't want to put this through this process. We want them to love the game. So of course the talented kids from Dinamo, always like in the past we got good stats that most than 8 to 9 players from the academy of Dinamo from community level went to A-League, and which is quite, we are happy about it. We don't holding kids to stay. We want them to go. That's our goal, to help them to make these A-League academies.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic way of putting it, without a doubt. I mean, just because we may not be fully professional, we may be a community club, it certainly doesn't mean that we can't aspire to at least put the way we operate to do it in a professional level. We're speaking with NIKOLA MARKOVSKI, the technical director of the St. Albans Dinamo Football Club. We'll also be speaking very, very shortly with the team captain of the senior men's team, Michael GRGIC, and we've just received notification from Churchill Reserve that training is just about to wind up, and we'll be speaking to him in about 5 minutes' time. But NIKOLA, let's talk about Western United. You're involved with the senior team there, and then at Dinamo you're involved with the technical director side of things with the juniors. How do you kind of go from juniors, seniors, juniors? Do you sort of, as a coach, as a technical director, obviously there are certain things that have to be done differently, but what are some of the things that you find very similar? Is it the passion of one is similar to the passion of the other, or something else?
Well, you put it right, that the passion is the same. The love for the game is the same, and then kind of like I used to all my life to be full-time in football, and I just really enjoy every moment on the pitch. I can spend a lot of hours at Dinamo and Western. So last year was much better because it doesn't clash the training. I was nearly like a full-time. I was working in Western in the mornings because we train in mornings.
Yep.
And afternoons I was a lot of time coaching teams at Dinamo, help them to the coaches. It was quite working well. This year sometimes it's clashing my session afternoon with Dinamo, but when I'm not at Western and I'm always at Dinamo, which is I helping most of the coaches. Like last night we got workshop with the coaches. We went through the program. I try to send them in advance, to send them program for the boys and trainings, and we are 24 hours online, so anytime they can contact me, and I can send them all the details about the session plans and etc.
Well, there we go. There's some photo or a photo from last night's session there at Churchill Reserve. It certainly looks like we've got a very, very attentive group there who are looking on. Looks good to see that there's also some females as well involved in the coaching side of things as well. What's some of the I guess the mechanisms you use as a technical director to help assist the coaches, or to even keep them kind of not in check, but to give them that support, give them that kind of help along the way if they need it?
For example, we usually do face-to-face meetings if there's something not clear with them. In advance, monthly, we got a workshop. We explaining the program and the target for this month. And also we send him to every single coach, we send him a program, full training session developed by me based on the program what we developed for 36 weeks during the season. And we talk about it, we discuss, then practical on the pitch and taking sessions. Sometimes I help them, assist them when they need help, and explain in detail. So which is with MiniRoos is a little bit different than MPL teams, because we have to be able to show these skills. We have to be able to show the skills to the kids. And sometimes when some coach struggle to show some skills on the pitch, of course you have to put the boots on and show them, you know.
Yep.
So is a few different type of showing and helping the coaches, which is all the time I'm there.
Well, it's great to see that there's such a good support in place for coaches. We do need coaches, and there's the graphic that comes up. We do need coaches for the under 14 boys. And look, with the increase in the numbers, we'll probably need more coaches. And I guess even if we've got too many coaches, we can always have assistant coaches and co-coaches, because, as you said, next year we're probably expecting an even bigger jump. And look, 22% jump so far, and we may get to 25% by the start of the season. It just shows it's testament to all the hard work that's happening off the field. And I guess you're very, very much part of that growth and that hard work behind the scenes.
Well, I will say that everyone is a bit of part of this growth, because we put so much effort, and it's a teamwork that I'm really grateful to the people working around me, because in Dinamo, that's I always say that Dinamo is a little bit different than other clubs. I've been involved in a lot of clubs, but Dinamo is like a family, and then people support each other a lot of time off the pitch.
Yep.
And that's why this teamwork, we increasing these numbers year by year. And like I said, it's all about benefits, about community, and the kids feel safe and play football. At the end of the day, we want them to play and stay in football. We want them to enjoy coming to training. So that's why probably is working so far. So
yeah, that's exactly right. NIKOLA, thank you for being a part of DinamoTV on tonight. Wishing you all the very, very best for the rest of the season, rest of the year. And certainly we'll look forward to having you maybe on a little bit later on in the year to give us an update as to what's happening in the MiniRoos side of things.
Thanks, Tonchin. Thanks again. And I wish all the best in future, and of course we're gonna talk again.
We will.
Everyone.
That's for sure. Good on you, NIKOLA. NIKOLA MARKOVSKI, the juniors and MiniRoos technical director at the club. Folks, it's already ready to cross live over to Churchill Reserve, where the captain of the senior men's team, Michael GRGIC, has just come off the training session. I can see him in the back room. He's wiping his brow furiously, so he's still sweating. Hang around, folks, because straight after this break, we will be speaking to Captain Courageous from the senior men's team, Michael GRGIC. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to DinamoTV. And it's my absolute pleasure to cross over to Churchill Reserve, where we are we've got Michael GRGIC, the captain of the senior men's team, and you've got your camera all inverted. You've got like a B, not a D. How are you, Michael? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. A bit hot after training, but I'm all right.
No, that's for sure. Well, mate, it's been absolutely fantastic to have the DinamoTV, but now it's an even bigger pleasure to have you on the show. And thank you for joining us. And well, let's turn our attention to this weekend's big blockbuster game. And as we do that, you'll be able to change your settings and maybe even change the camera angle. But as we have a look at that, Port Melbourne hosting our St Albans Dinamo this Saturday at JL Murphy Reserve. The kickoff times are there. Seniors kicking off at 6 p.m. The under-23s then follow at 8 p.m. And all of the games will be on YouTube. That's right. All the NPL Victoria games will be coming live on YouTube. So that is going to be something that is different this year. And there we go. So Michael's just playing around with the camera. That's all right. We'll leave it at that. That's fine. Yeah. Not to worry. Michael, first of all, congratulations on your appointment. Mate, how's the pre-season been, or the off-season?
Yeah, no, pre-season's been good. It's been new bunch of boys. Have had a bit of a turnover so far, but it's been good. The new boys have adjusted well. We've had Stefan come on board as a strength and conditioning coach as well, and Johnny as a physio. So it's been good. It's been a bit of a change-up, but it's been enjoyable, and the boys have been gelling well together.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. We did see a little bit of action in the pre-season, the Crow Cup. Last week we had the game against Western Suburbs. How is the team gelling? How are they starting to sort of fall into place, if you like?
Yeah, we didn't sort of gel a bit till after Christmas, I reckon, when a few boys came from overseas and interstate. And after that, we've just gone from strength to strength. So we'll only get better as the season goes on.
There we go. There's some footage of several weeks ago, played in quite warm conditions. That was the game played against North Geelong in the IND Crow Cup at Churchill Reserve. That was the old turquoise away kit, if you like. But now we've got a new kit, actually. So good to see the new kit. Now let's pop that on. There we go. There you're self-modelling with Christopher Dibb last week. What do you think of the new kits, the new Adidas kits?
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan of Adidas, so it's good to be back.
Now, Adidas, they must fit pretty well, do they? Fit quite snugly?
Yeah, they do fit pretty well. Dibby a little bit, snug.
Yeah, but there we go. There you go. You're in action there as well. Now, look, last year was a real struggle. Let's face it, it came down to about the last few games of the season. In fact, I think it was a win against sister club St Albans. North Geelong, that almost secured survival. And I remember at the time Dinamo president Ilya Dragicevic saying it was a real bittersweet moment defeating North Geelong, but you needed to that win for survival. What's the plan? What's the aim this year? There's Coach Ryan McGuffey at the top of the screen. What's the plan this year? What's the realistic aim for the boys have in the dressing room at the moment?
Of course, to be better than last year, that's 100%. That's a given. But I guess it's just to see how the first 6 weeks go, and then go from there. You can assess after that. Try to get as many points as home as possible, and
Yeah.
we'll assess after those first 5-6 games, I think.
Yeah. Now, Ryan McGuffey, the coach there, he's well supported by a pretty big crew there as well, on and off the field. Has there been any difference to pre-season this year as opposed to pre-season last year? The way you've approached training, the way you've approached the practice games, etc.?
Yeah, I think the pre-season we got Steph in as a strength and conditioning coach, and so pre-season was a little bit altered with him taking the reins in terms of running and that sort of thing. But in terms of our general play, Ryan sort of stuck to his guns, how we tried to play last year, and we've just tried to progress as a team. You know, a few of the boys that have stuck around, try to show the new boys how we want to play this year and how we want to go about it. So, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of some of the new boys, particularly let's talk about the juniors that have stepped up from last year's under 21s. It's 23s now, I guess. Any of the boys really catching your eye? I know, coaches don't like to single out players. I'm not sure about team captains, but who are some of the shining lights? Who are some of the kids that are really stepping up, and we can expect some big things in season 2024?
Oh, look, I think any one of them could step up and just get in there and get a role, go off the bench or something like that. But no, any number of them. I'm not going to single someone out because I think that's unfair to all of them.
Yeah,
because I think they're all
fair enough.
fantastic players in their own right. And to single someone out would be a bit unfair, I reckon.
Yeah, well, for those folks that are on Facebook, make sure that you are following the daily posts. Anthony Conyit's doing a ripper job there with the unveiling the first team squad and what you're not. But there's some really, really good players. But one player today that was announced, Alan Guerres, who's come over from Green Gully. I think is he Argentinian? Yeah, he can play in a variety of plays here. He's going to be providing a lot of firepower up front, and that's something that we kind of really missed last year, isn't it? We had a couple of departures mid-season and what you're not. But how much of a boost to our forward line is Alan going to be?
Yeah, definitely. He's got that fiery, that Argentinian spirit, that intensity about him. He brings that in training every day. So it's good. He's pushing the boys on. And I think it's going to lead to more chances, more goals in games. So,
yeah. Now looking forward to Saturday night. So the big game kicks off there at 6 p.m. against Port Melbourne, and the under 23s. They'll be competing later on at 8 p.m. What do we know about Port Melbourne that's happened to them in the off season? Do we know much about them? What can we expect? I mean, they're probably a typically tough Greek community backside. So, have we done our homework on them?
yeah, we have. Yeah, Guff's went and watched them a couple of times, so he knows what they're about. I think they lost their coach and a number of players. So Nick Marinos, who's taken over there, I think they're just young boys. So you got to expect it's going to be a tough outing. First game, everyone's feeling each other out. So definitely a tough one. But we go there with our game plan and try to pinch a result.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And what about some of we talked about Alan? Obviously, he's one of the players, the new comers to the dressing room. Anyone else that's come over? I can't remember anyone off the top of my head. Any new recruits apart from our juniors that have been promoted?
Scott Baker, English striker, has come across. Carter Ramsey from Eastern Lions. Oh, I'm going to forget someone here, so apologies. Max King in midfield from Gold Coast. James Riccobini from Avondale. Mark Bullich has come across. Jacob Sovereigns, left back. Yeah, just trying to think if I can remember anyone else. I'll forget someone, but there's been
well. You've done really well. I tell you what, the memory's doing very well. During the week, we actually found out one former player, Xander Guy, who has gone up to the Gold Coast Knights. He's gone back to Queensland and he's now signed up to the Gold Coast Knights. So it's good to see Xander returning back to Queensland, and he'll be donning the red, white and blue this year for the Gold Coast Knights. But mate, after this week, we've got a pretty tough sort of a home game against Avondale, the reigning champions, and then a big game, the clash against Sister Club and newly promoted Dandenong City. So it's not an easy start to the season by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not. I don't think there's really any easy starts. So it's good. You just get those games out of the way early and when it's a derby like that, anyone can take the points. And Avondale at home, you get them early on. You never know what can happen. So I guess it's good. Just if it's a tough run at the start, it's a tough run. As long as you come home strong, that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and finally, you yourself, mate, how are you feeling? How's the fitness? How's the energy level at training and what you're not? How's the motivation above all?
No, motivation's still high. Definitely still high to play. But no, I'm enjoying it. New boys come in when there's a breath of fresh air. A few younger boys, even though some are like half my age now. But yeah, no, you get used to it. You just go about your stuff. And if you didn't love it, you wouldn't be here. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. On that note, wishing you all the very, very best for season 2024 and the rest of the lads, starting with Saturday night's big game against Port Melbourne. But who's your tip for, who's the team that's going to be the team to watch out for this year?
I think Avondale, going off last year, I'm sure they've recruited well. So yeah, they'll definitely be the benchmark of the competition.
Yeah, well, all the action kicks off tomorrow night at Lakeside Stadium with the original Melbourne derby, South Melbourne against our sister club, Melbourne Knights. So we're wishing the Melbourne Knights all the very best in that game. And as we said, wishing you and the boys all the very best for season 2024. Go get them, Michael.
Thank you very much, Sonshi. Thanks for having me.
Good on you. Thank you very much for joining us on DinamoTV. That was Michael GRGIC, Captain Courageous, joining us all the way from the Dinamo change rooms straight off the training track. Folks, that brings us to the end of another episode of DinamoTV. We thank you for being a part of tonight's show. An unusual time, Wednesday night, obviously because of tomorrow's original Melbourne derby kicking off at, I think it's at 8 p.m. or something like that. Nonetheless, we will next week focus on a recap of the round one match. We'll also look towards the round two. We'll cover everything that has been covered on the weekend with regards to the Junior Boys NPL. They're now into their second week of action. And there is so much happening, and hopefully we can even have a little bit of an upset with the Gorse Bears getting over the Western Eagles on Friday night. It's all happening, folks. It's DinamoTV, and the new season kicks off this weekend. Hope to see you out on the terraces, in the stands, and we thank you very, very much for being a part of tonight's show. Good night, and next week we'll see you at our traditional time slot of Thursday at 8 p.m. Bye-bye. Mismo Dinamo.